Ain't nobody got to go to work. What is everybody doing?
Right.
Just in a regular daytime on a Monday, Tuesday, and a Wednesday and a Thursday, everybody outside and ain't nobody got nothing to do. And everybody got a mask on. And everybody confused, but everybody tearing up shit. And when you ask the people, hey, what are you doing this for? What do you support about the Mexican flag being flown over here in the United States of America? Don't nobody got no answers. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Let me know what y'all think inside of the chat. Make sure we got to start.
So, guys, that's my boy Anton Daniels. I'll put that link in that video in the description once the live is over. But, guys, what are your thoughts? Do you guys think that these people are being paid?
I don't know. Maybe. I think it's a reasonable thought that if someone needs to get something done, that they'll pay people to do it. That I think we have to wonder why. What is the end goal here? If you're going to pay people to riot and mess things up, what is the real goal? Is this is it much more than meets the eye? Is it much bigger than just the riots? Because I argue that if you're going to go through this struggle, I think that there's a real reason for it, and I think that is more concerning to me than whether they are paying people. I get to the why. I'm sure they are. I remember years ago hearing about the pallets of things that were there for people to be able to go and wreck things. So this is not a foreign concept, but I'd say that it would absolutely, if you are wanting to make a point, that you do this. And why not? That's what that's what some of these organizations are quite possibly raising money for. So I wouldn't doubt it. What companies or organizations are, how easy would it be to prove unless you were a part of it? What kind of documentation you signed that said, I'm not going to tell anyone you are a part of it, all of that.
Okay, we're actually gonna go to Mitchell next because he's just now getting in, guys. We got to get him warmed up a little bit. But Mitchell, do you think these people are being paid?
Of course they is, man. Why, man? Like, why would you think like a bunch of random white people from all over the country come here, or either to LA? You don't see no liberals. You see mostly liberals walking with the Hispanics like that, man. You don't, and it's the same thing that happened in 2020. You remember what happened in downtown? All them random white people from Seattle come downtown and burn up police cars, walk down 63rd, mess up Family Dollar General. We won't do that in our neighborhood, even though we walked with them. But that's what makes us, us. But at the end of the day, these people are being paid. It's plenty of documentaries online that show you how they're getting paid. 90% of it's Soros.
Yep.
They know who it is. We all know who it is, and the media won't not say it enough. I mean, the media is bought and paid for. This goes to a deeper level than what most of us are seeing. I mean, like, if you imagine this, none of this was even happening before like 2016. Well, I mean, it was, but not like this. Nobody wasn't fighting over illegals and downtown and all this other stuff, burning up police cars. Nobody wasn't doing none of that. This is paid for to try to destroy the country. I mean, it's pretty blatantly, like, you can seriously see it right now. Bro, I'm probably like 10 years older than you. In the 90s or to the, nobody wasn't worried about if Mexicans was legal or not. Racism was, I wouldn't say racism was over then, but people got along. We got along way better. What, like right toward like 9/11-ish or so, around like the late 90s, early 2000s, people got along. People got along. I went to school with plenty of white people, because I have Mexican friends, white friends, all that. Now they pushing this narrative to try to divide us. First they do it with the mask, then they do it with the shots, then they do it with this. They want it divided. They want it divided. Right. They want it divided. Like, I mean, of course it's paid to get division. I mean, you got, man, it has so many levels. Of course it's paid. Like, is these people paid to do it? Yeah. It's pretty much, yeah. Like, well, like, why would they complain about being here? You ever think about that? Like, why would they? Oh, I'm about to say that. Like, why would they? Honestly, why would they complain about being here? You got the one guy. I don't know if you've seen the one guy. He's been here 24 years, and he haven't got his paperwork. You have 4 kids here. You have 4 kids here, and now you have 25 years to get your paperwork, to get your card or whatever it takes. You have 25 years. You have 4 kids here, and you didn't do it yet. And now you got to leave.
Right. Priorities is jacked up, man.
You had 4 kids.
That's the entitlement, though.
Since 1990, hold on. You've been here since 1999, and you're not a legal citizen yet. I have a Mexican friend that was not a legal citizen who fought in the Iraq War when he wasn't a citizen. They used to let people go to the army if they weren't a citizen. They don't think they do it no more. But he fought in the war, and he became a citizen like 15 years after being here because he came over as a child. You had 4 kids, and you're not a citizen, and now you're complaining why you got to go back. I mean... I don't know. I don't know. And then I don't know why they say, like, I don't know if any of you all been to Mexico. I've been a few times, and I didn't go to no Cancun. I didn't go to none of the, like, ritzy places. I've been to what they call, I guess, they hood. And when I look around, I ask myself, why the hell do y'all want to come here? Like, it's like, I mean, I don't know how their mentality is, bro, but for some reason, I don't see it that bad. Like, I mean, if you want to come here to negative 10-degree weather where you got 80-degree weather all the time down there, your food is better. I mean, people are literally leaving America to go there. I know plenty of. They have white towns in Mexico. Now they're saying that's another program where they want all of them out for they can take the stuff down there. I don't know how true that is, but my buddy has a timeshare down there. They go every month. And it's beautiful down there. Like, so I don't know what the new narrative is. So they getting paid, we're divided, us black people are divided. It seems like no matter what, we're divided. I mean, I guess we're the 8%, right? So I was arguing with somebody. I don't even know if I wasn't even arguing with nobody on Facebook, but so the other 92%. So it's either 2 things. Either us 8% of conservative blacks they say we dumb as hell, or the other 92% of the Democrat blacks is dumb as hell. So which one of us is it? So which one of us? So is either 8% of us smart or 92% is stupid, or is it a vice versa?
Right. Andy, what do you think? Do you think these people are being paid? I mean, because you were actually there.
Well, there was a lot of incredible enthusiasm. They walked for 2 hours, really hyper, as if they were on drugs. So that, some are probably getting paid, but there's, an awful lot of people who are just true believers too. And so we just got to figure out how to speak the truth to them and help them to escape from this cult that they're in, where they just can't see reality. We have the facts on our side. We win the court cases all the time. It's just we can't get the facts in their heads, and we just have to fix that riddle somehow.
Mm-hmm. Nicole?
I definitely agree with Andy that, it's a passion that's been put in them through indoctrination, a lot of them, but there's definitely paid people that are egging it on. Probably the paid agitators, the ones who, pull up with the bricks and the Molotov and cocktails and want to spray paint everything. I definitely feel like some of those people are paid, but also there are just people who are out of their minds. The Democratic Party has done a job on people's mind states. The indoctrination starts in schools. I'm on the campus of UIC and I'm seeing kids that are just afraid of thinking, like just terrified to use their own brain and have their own opinions, because the groupthink is a way of life. And then, social media doesn't allow you to escape that. The algorithms will put you in a silo, and you will think that, everything you see that somebody's saying about a situation has no nuance, and there's no need for you to look for facts, and you can put all your emotions behind it and just go out here and wreck shit. And, with 2016, I think Mitchell said, definitely Obama was a huge part of the issue, I feel like, in America right now. He brought in this mind state of Black people really just taking their Blackness and using it as a crutch, like just with your full chest. And then white liberals became bleeding hearts for, the Black plight. And then we just never looked back. And then George Floyd just kind of set all of that. Like, it was just the final little pour of gas on that fire, I feel like, that Obama helped to start. And in Chicago, we have our own issues with like Rahm Emanuel and how he introduced the New Americans plan. And so all of this globalist agenda plays into each other. But I definitely feel like we are too far gone with the thinking that it's okay to enact violence against police because, all of that stuff that's happened so far. I mean, yes, the police have done horrible things to people, but the numbers are on the side of the police. Like, every cop is not out here brutalizing everybody. Y'all gonna pick up the phone and call 911 when you're in danger, and you're hoping and trusting that they're gonna uphold their oaths to come serve the community. And I feel like at this point we've made it okay to be violent against police, to vandalize our own cities and property, because there's really an envy too behind it between people who've obtained the American dream. And that's what they look at it conservatives like. It's like, y'all want to stand up on your own 2 feet. Y'all not looking for handouts. Y'all want to, be families and have these values. And it's like, no, forget the values. We want to just wreck stuff. So it's an indoctrination, I think, is definitely a good portion of people who truly believe what they're doing without anybody paying them, because it's just been in their face for so many years.
Yeah, that's what you called a proud communist right there, boy. But Mr. Dennis, what do you think? Do you think these people are getting paid?
Only one way to find out: if the FBI trace the money and freeze the access, then we know that if they got paid or not, because they ain't doing this out the liberation for Palestine or abortion rights or anti-ICE or George Floyd and stuff like that. I don't think they doing this just for the heck of it. I think they've been influenced by the almighty dollar right there. So Cash, it's important that Cash Patel need to trace that money, where it came from, which organization has been funded, and then we'll know if they've been paid or not. But 99% of my instinct believe that they have been paid off.
Well, there's those helmets. People are dropping off these expensive tear gas helmets for the rioters. That has to come from somebody really rich. Right there. He was in LA, not here. Are we cut off? I'll wait.
Yo, Andy, like you were saying a few minutes ago, Jean, you there?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
No, I was saying to Andy a few minutes ago, like he was trying to say, like, well, you got to see how many people. I don't think it takes that many people to influence, a crowd. I mean, you could probably have like 10 people influence a crowd of like 100. So it don't take a lot of them. So if you could pay like 50 people to come here and influence a crowd, I mean, they have like FBI studies to show like how to move within a crowd, to say certain trigger words and all this other stuff, and to convince people. You got one person throw a brick at a window, next you know you got 30 bricks going through a window. It don't take much. So you can literally hire 20 people to influence 1,000 people. Maybe not
exactly.
That. Yeah.
And defeat the most violent ones.
Yeah. So in other words, I could put up like a few $1,000s. Like, hey, here's go $200 or $300 for all y'all. Start going through that CVS or busting out windows and that. I mean, that's what it was. And it's like even in 2020 when I was trying to get to 63rd and like around Halsted, and you have white people that's not from this state breaking into AutoZone, and then black people just following them. Like it don't take much. So when you say they pay people, you don't have to really pay people like a lot of people. It ain't like they flew in thousands of people. I mean, you could fly in like 50 people, and it can almost destroy your city.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, so it wouldn't take much, you know.
Now, slightly off subject, they're giving the conservative cause a huge gift here because the people don't want the city to be destroyed. They don't want the stores ransacked. They don't want the cops beaten up, most of them. They don't want all this fear that comes from having a riot, and the people can see that the cops are not being able to handle it. So if we keep coming out with the messaging of we're here to save the city, we're here to protect people, we're here to keep the businesses running, we're here to save lives from the riot, then we're going to get more votes next election. So we just got to hit those points too.
Andy makes a great point. Well, before we watch this video, it's actually anti-ICE protesters clashing with the police in Chicago. I believe you were there, Andy, so you saw this happen live. And
yes,
absolutely ridiculous. We might see you in there, honestly.
Yes.
So we might see you in there, and it's just absolutely ridiculous how people didn't catch on to this yet. Now, obviously, all of us in the panel knows that this is bad on the cities, but it's actually good when it comes to voting in the next elections, even when it comes to midterms. People don't want to see the cities burn down to the ground. People don't want to see shit everywhere on the ground like San Francisco. It's literally an app for this, by the way. I know it's off subject a little bit, but there's literally an app for how much poop is on the ground in San Francisco. That's ridiculous. Ran by Gavin Newsom, yours truly, by the way. And it's like, people need to realize that not saying that all conservative states or all Republican states are better than, blue states and things like that. But if I had to go on a limb and choose which state I would want to live in, I'm going to choose red every single time if I had the choice.
Absolutely. I think I was at this fight here. I missed some of them, but this was one I was at.
Okay, yeah.
And can I just say real quick too, people, and you don't even got to go that far. People don't want to sit in traffic after work or trying to get somewhere with all these assholes in their way. And then you think about, and then you think about all these Walgreens closing on the south and west sides of Chicago, and there's no Walmart. You looting and doing all this stuff is not helping business. And your grandma, if I always remind people, where's grandma gonna get her prescriptions from if y'all tear up all the stores?
Right, absolutely.
That's votes. That's votes.
It's inconsiderate, man. And then I believe Faith brought this up, like tearing up businesses and stuff like that. That doesn't help us at all, especially if it's quote unquote black owned, because now you guys are complaining that, black people ain't got no business in our communities. Newsflash, that's because black people are always ruining shit. They're always stealing. They're always looking for a handout. They're always looking for a discount. Hey, come on, I'm your uncle. I'm Unc. Let me get a discount. That's not how businesses flourish. I mean, you can get a discount if like a 30% off discount, but that stuff have to be like online and stuff like that. Like they be wanting like real life under the table discounts, and it's not going to work like that in a business establishment. And that's and when black people complain why black owned businesses aren't flourishing in America, it's because they aren't black support. There aren't really black people supporting black owned businesses because they suck.
It's that ancient Celtic mindset. Laws don't matter. Stealing's okay. Threatening people with violence is okay. It came down from the Celts.
I want to say something. I really encourage every business owner, store owner, from Walmart to Walgreens to a mom and pop store. I think they need to purchase a firearm and just defend their property, their store. They have every right. I mean, one person can clear a crowd with a gun. So I believe every store owner should arm themselves, especially these small businesses, because are being more devastating than the corporate.
Hmm.
You know, so I truly believe they need to arm themselves. Myself. Now, I'm not trying to push for violence, but sometimes you gotta do what's necessary.
No, no, no. I absolutely agree because this is what law enforcement do. See, and then, Mr. Dennis, you know this because you were in the military. Whenever somebody is coming at you with an aggressive weapon or something like that, you always have to level up. Like, let's say someone's approaching you with a knife, and that ultimately means you can either use a taser or a firearm. If somebody is just approaching with hands, then ultimately you could probably just use, like a baton or something like that, and that's just to keep, law and order. You can't really you can't really use, things that are equal when it comes to trying to subdue someone, like if you got a guy that's acting crazy out there, 9 times out of 10, you're gonna need two people to subdue the guy, you know, and or you gotta get a taser or something just to, even the odds. But it's not really evening the odds. It's not evening the odds if I really want to be honest, because you don't really want to be even in a situation like that, especially when a police officer, if they're because this is a Second Amendment country. That means people have guns here. They have to move cautiously, especially in a country like America, because anybody, you know, there's a lot of crazy people out in America. Just want to add that, but anybody can just easily pull out a firearm and shoot a police officer. It happens a lot, especially in liberal cities. So I agree with you 100%. I think we just need to start arming ourselves, Mr. Dennis, and really start focusing on what's really important. Uh,
Well,
I
I will respond to what you say. Okay, here's the thing about that is that the military, they go by the rules of engagement, and the police also go by the rules of engagement because they are more liable for a lawsuit. Raw hand. I know the police are liable for lawsuits, so they very hesitant to shoot a gun. But civilians, they don't have to go by. Well, let me correct myself. Law-abiding citizens don't have to go by the rules of engagement because if somebody come at you with a knife, you're not gonna have time. If you got a gun, chamber that round and use it. So because they are displaying a threat to your life and your safety. Even when somebody come at you with a baseball bat, you still can use a gun and stuff. So most of us don't carry tasers, and very little and pepper spray go within like 15, 25 feet at the most. But if you see someone come at you with a knife or any other weapon and you feel threatened, you have the right to arm yourself and you have the right to defend yourself. And see, some people think that a gun is a mass destructive. It's not. It's the guns really equalize the threat, and sometimes you have to use to neutralize that threat. So in a case like what's going on here in Chicago with the riots, if they come at yours, Nicole, or anybody else's business, you all have the right to defend your property. That is constitutional wise, raw fan. But here's the catch: we're in a very blue anti-Second Amendment state because the state legislature had just passed a bill and now Pritzker is getting ready to sign into law called the Safe Storage Act. And what that means is that if you have like children under the age of 18, you have to take the magazine out, take the round out the chamber, and put it in a box, Ralph hand. Now here's the worst case scenario. What if some of them rioters or come to your home and invade your house? How
there you
long do you
go.
think it will take you to arm yourself without the magazine and without the round in the chamber?
Yep.
Mhm. Absolutely, man, and that just goes to show you a failing society. If you don't have rights, especially if you let them take them away, that's just signs of a failing society and a failing country. And the liberal cities are I honestly predict. Well, there was this guy that predicted that if this continues to go on, every state will be like Los Angeles, and that's not good at all in my eyes. So we can't have that happen, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah.